If it's shaking sport, we are already on it.
My assessment of the game was that Canada was just not a good team. It's just not a strong team. Yes, they have good players. They've got Jonathan Davis, the captain who scored, who gave Davis the armband. But they were not brilliant. Just okay. I mean, at some point, I thought we matched them pound to pound. The problem is that Hugo Bruce just went defensive again. As you rightly say, he went Mexico. Defensive, there was no creativity.
Serious conversation. We need to have a serious conversation as a country. The lack of strikers, it's something that's very concerning for us as South African football going forward. Because the fact that we played 4 games and could only score 1 goal and the second goal being a penalty is quite concerning.
So for Head of Communications, live from LA, Mnina Wentlogo.
You can move from the heights of elation to the depths of despair. And the important thing now is to pick up the pieces and move forward, because we do have a small matter of AFCON qualifiers coming up in September.
And we'll be coaching that.
Well, I'm sure what will happen there is that I think the coach also mentioned it. He's been asked this question a number of times about what is likely to be the future going forward, and he said he will sit down with the senior officials at SAFA and then have that conversation about what is then going to happen going forward. I think that's where we are right now.
But yeah, what will happen in the next days and weeks, that depends also a little bit how South Africa see the future.
Let's go! Champions of the world!
Robert Marawa.
Data.
This is the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
And the World Cup continues right into the wee hours of the morning. I would love to get your thoughts as well. Germany are out. Netherlands are out. I've got a very special guest in just a couple of seconds. I'm going to be chatting to him. He's all the way up in Dubai for his thoughts on this and a whole lot more. We'll touch on a little bit of rugby as well. So there's something for everybody, because the room divider, Thando Manana, is on standby, busy as always. We also go Saskog, high performance manager Leon Fleischer is going to be chatting to us. So it's a busy Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go! The moments you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. You're locked into Marawa Sports Worldwide. Live across Canada, Mexico and the USA at the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Cutting edge football, man. This is the World Cup update right here on hashtag MSW, powered by Rexona. It won't let you down. Well, I can safely tell you though, that the road to glory is getting narrower. The dreams are getting bigger. You talk about the giants that are starting to fall. My goodness. I mean, this is the FIFA World Cup, man, where history is being rewritten before our very own eyes. Where champions also kind of discovering that, reputations mean nothing. They mean absolutely nothing when the whistle blows. And that's why yesterday, or this morning, delivered yet another unforgettable chapter. A 4-time world champion sent crashing out. A penalty shootout nightmare for Germany. I think Brazil, they surviving that Japanese scare with that last gasp winner. And also Morocco, guys. Again, they showed nerves of steel to overcome the Netherlands in that dramatic shootout. Paraguay have announced themselves on the world stage after Orlando Gil became the hero, denying Germany, though, from the spot and also sending one of football's biggest nations packing. But Brazil, I mean, they needed every second on the clock before Gabriel Martinelli's late strike broke all of those Japanese hearts, while Morocco and the Netherlands produced a knockout classic that went all the way to penalties. So the big question is, what are we learning from these knockout battles? I mean, who has the mentality to handle the pressure, and which teams are peaking at the perfect time? And are we seeing kind of a new football order that's emerging? And joining us now to chat to us on hashtag MSW, Marawa Sports Worldwide, is the man who understands the demands, though, at the highest level, a former Bafana Bafana midfielder. And I guess a player who wore the national team jersey with pride and is now shaping the next generation of football talent as the assistant coach of the under-18 team at the Ajax Youth Academy, and so much more that he does, and is a very, very busy man indeed. Stephen Pienaar, what an honor. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Robert. How are you?
I'm very well, very well. Little sleep. I don't know how you're managing this World Cup.
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough. Doing school runs and watching games at 5 in the morning. It's been a tough week. So yeah.
But how are you
we
managing
can't
it?
complain, enjoying it.
How are you managing it? Because it's such a tough demand. Like you say, you got to do school runs. You got to keep, your mind pretty clear and sharp, absorb what's happening in the World Cup, because every game, unfortunately, at this stage, Stephen, is just so important.
Yeah, you can't. For me personally, I can't miss any game. I think the kids are also used to it. This morning we had the whole family up at 5 to watch Morocco against the Netherlands. So yeah, it is like a football home. So yeah, we all watch together mainly, even though the kids, they still have to go to school. So yeah, I hope they're not sleeping in class. But yeah, part and parcel of the life.
I mean, let's start off. And the reason why, he decided to chat to you is because you got the experience of having played, Borussia Dortmund between 2006 and 2008. So there's a German influence within you. There's also a Dutch influence with you, with your time spent at Ajax, whether playing or having gone back to coach. And I would wonder what the immediate reaction, Stephen, would have been, because these are two major powerhouses, but yeah, they've exited the World Cup.
Yeah, but if I listened to you earlier, and you said there's a lot of surprises, a lot of things are changing in the football world. If you look at all the African teams, 90% of the African nations went to the next round. So there is a change. I think a lot of countries have grown over the years. Look at Morocco, for example, the development that they're doing back in Morocco with King Mohammed Academy. It's a lot of development is taking place, and a lot of countries been catching up. So yeah, again, with Germany and Netherlands getting out, so early in the tournament, it's been disappointing. I spoke to a lot of my friends that still live in Germany. The people are disappointed with the team that they have, with a coach. The expectations were high. But yeah, that's football, Sometimes you get a lot of surprises as well. So yeah, it's part and parcel of the game.
I think a lot of people, pundits, including Zlatan Ibrahimovic, I mean, they were talking about losing the culture. They're saying that Koeman has lost the kind of culture of total football that the Dutch were known for and revered for, and that now they adopt a more defensive way of playing football that he doesn't understand. I mean, from a tactical perspective, where do you think they've slipped up, Stephen?
I think the Netherlands, I work with Koeman for almost 6 years, so I know him as a coach, as a human being. I think he just got it all wrong. You can say it's a bit like how Bafana Bafana started the first game. It's kind of similar. Everyone in Holland was actually like saying, why we playing against Morocco? We the bigger country. We the country of total football, so they have to adjust to us, and it was the other way around. I think also a lot of people are talking about why did they let him come back after his first spell. He didn't change a lot. He brought a few players in. Somerville came in. He was on standby. Someone got injured. He got in. That was one of the surprises. Bobby he didn't play the whole qualifying games. He came in. So some things he did well, but yesterday he got it all wrong. I think credit to Morocco, the way they played, they believed in the way they want to play the game, and they went at the Netherlands. So yeah, I think they deserve to win as well.
I mean, obviously, from an emotional perspective, when we also Cody Gakpo's score, and we know the trauma that he had just experienced having to leave the camp and attend to family matters, and what that mattered the most was, getting the team over the line. But we didn't anticipate, the giant of Issa Diop cancelling that out almost, towards the end of the game. Just your feeling about what I call the bounce back ability that Morocco have.
Yeah, like I said, if you look at the game, Robert, it was all Morocco wanted to play. There was only one team that wanted to win the game, and it was Morocco. Okay, they did concede, against the run of play, but they were still dominating even in the second half. If you look, they had more of the ball, they were in control of the game, and eventually, if you slip up at the end, you have to make sure. That's also the problem when you're playing with 5 defenders at the back. You don't know who's picking up. Everyone want to mark the zone. They're not going man marking. So and then you're not focused as a defender, and I think that's what happened. Conceding so late, it was just unfortunate for them.
Yeah, and maybe just to conclude the conversation on the Netherlands, though, because he was very defiant, Koeman, as you'd expect any coach to be after the game, and he was saying, sure, he is considering his future, but not saying that he is ending his run. What do you think is best, though, for the future, the new generation of Dutch football, especially at national team level, is to find a new man and do what?
I think he's had a good go at it. Like all the big managers, they take responsibility. If things didn't go their way, they resign. But, just to have your own pride with you and do that. But I think, personally, I think that will happen. I hope it does, because I think the new generation is coming in. They need fresh ideas, a coach that will implement the way the Netherlands want to play football, total football. I think everyone in the Netherlands are calling for him to resign, so it's just a matter of time.
And the would have been, should have been, could have been, didn't, which would have been a Morocco versus Bafana Bafana match now is what's next for Morocco. Do you see them coming unstuck against Canada, or is it just a steamroll over to the next round for them?
If you look at it on paper, I'll say it's just a steamroll over it. But again, football, it's a game that surprises everyone. That's why we love it. It's not going to be easy for them. Obviously, Canada have to play much better than the way they did against South Africa if they want to beat Morocco. But in general, I think Morocco's got an upper hand to go through.
Let's touch on Germany, though, because here's a nation that had never, Stephen, actually lost a World Cup penalty shootout before. It did this morning. I mean, do moments like this show that, past history, reputation, etc., count for absolutely nothing when it deals with modern football?
Yeah, sometimes it does count, but I think if you look at it, Paraguay, they just had nerves of steel more than the Germans, and I think it's everything is in the moment. Who wants it more? Who's prepared? Who's focused in a penalty shootout? It's a lottery, so anyone can win. And unfortunately, this time, Germany fell out through penalties. So I think the luck has come to an end.
And a lot of the legends that have played for Germany, they voiced their disapproval about what they saw as well, saying that this is not the Germany that they played for before. I don't know do you know what the missing link is when you just look generally, Stephen, the optics? What is it about Germany that is lacking from the, very dominant German teams of before?
I think if you look at the last 3 World Cups, also, not go too far after they won the World Cup. So I think with the talent, and I'll also agree with most of the guys, the players that they can select, there's some of the players that didn't go. I mean, you expect more from them to go. And for me, at the start of the tournament, I put Germany up there as one of the favorites to win it. It's because they're looking at the squad and also with a coach that they have that wants to play attacking football, gegenpress football, full of energy. It is disappointing, I must say, for them to get knocked out in that stage. Also, I think it's something about undermining your opponents a little bit, because if you look at how Paraguay went through, nobody expected them to even get out of the group, and eventually they did. And it's the underdog just came through.
All right, it will be amiss of me, Stephen, not to utilize this opportunity maybe to, give us your final thoughts about Bafana. Yes, knocked out. Yes, showed glimpses of other people saying that, yes, we can praise the local league and say that it's developing great players, but without taking those great players out to play in Europe, you're almost not reaching another level of football. What would your advice be, number one, in terms of where we take it from here as South Africa, and also who should coach this national team?
Yeah. First of all, I want to say, congratulations to the coach, to the players for making history. As a nation, the first group that came out of that went out of the group stages. So they did an unbelievable job going through to the next round. Apart from that, I was expecting also a lot from them. If you look at the squad, the players that was in the team, players from Sundowns who won the Champions League in Africa. You had players from Pirates that won the treble. So there's a lot of winners in the team, and I think I don't know. It's just my personal looking from outside in. I thought the players were a bit restricted. Do not play to their levels that we want them to play, the talent that they have, to their ability. I think there was something that wasn't clicking, just from looking from outside. I must say, like I mentioned earlier, they did a good job. They've made history, to get out of the group. But they could have gone if they played the way we know they can play, for the way they've been playing for the clubs. And they could have, play with confidence against Canada. They could have gone through and win the game.
All right, so I've got a quick question here for you.
Good evening, Rob, and good evening to Skilo. Skilo, I really appreciate your insights and how you interpret the game. I need to find out from you the succession plan at Bafana Bafana. Who do you see as the replacement to Hugo Bruce? Because for me, the number one candidate that I think SAFA should consider is Sebastian Desabre, the DR Congo coach, whom I believe has done remarkable work with a country that has no resources, but was able to find diaspora talent to get the country to where they are today. Just from a continuity perspective, who do you regard as the replacement for Hugo Bruce? Thank you so much, Debokoya.
Hey, Deboko, fair point. Hey, Skilo, how do you answer?
It's a difficult question to answer, to be fair. No, look, Hugo did an unbelievable job. He did reorganize our national team, the structure, he put it in place. I was just a little bit disappointed, Rob, to be honest. You have one head coach and you have a goalkeeper coach, obviously, and assistant coach. It's a national team. You need more people to support the head coach. More eyes, the better. You put the ideas together to help the coach. That's why you're assisting. But he had only one assistant coach. I don't know which other guys were helping him from outside. But it's a tough question to answer, Rob. There's a lot of good coaches out there, but are they prepared to work in South Africa? We have a lot of good local coaches as well. Just to mention a few, Pizza was there before. There's a lot of good coaches in South Africa. Rulani's also been doing an unbelievable job in Morocco and where he is now in Libya. So, it's difficult. I'm not a boardroom member, so I cannot say who must take over. As long as they keep the structure, what Hugo put down, that was the foundation to continue with it. That will be the most important thing.
Yeah, and you're seeing just how well Carlos Queiroz is doing with a Ghana team that he only joined at the last minute together with Roger Dessau. So there's a lot of conversations around this and a whole lot more, Stephen. I wish I had more time with you, my friend. Anytime you're around, please let me know. You know you owe us a studio visit this side of town, but an absolute refreshing analysis that you've given us, and I thank you so much indeed for it.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me. Good night.
Appreciate it, man. No, we're not going to sleep, man. There's football to be watched here, Stephen. That's former Bafana midfielder, as well as assistant coach there of the under-18 team at the Ajax Youth Academy. That's Stephen Pienaar joining us live from Dubai. Now, if you haven't heard, that shield is now Rexona, a brand that you've trusted now for years, is stepping forward with a bold new name. It is pronounced Rexona. Simple, strong, and easy to remember. Now, this new name comes with a fresh new look and also advanced body heat technology, so it gets to work every time you move, keeping you feeling confident all day. A proud partner of Bafana Bafana as well as Banyana Banyana, Rexona. It won't let you down. All right, that was the World Cup update on hashtag MSW, powered by Rexona. It won't let you down.
Hashtag MSW, live
Now
on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. Hashtag MSW.
The magic of Disney on Ice is here. Experience your favorite Disney stories live on ice, including Moana, Toy Story, Frozen, Coco, and more. Now skating at the Sunbet Arena, Times Square until the 5th of July. It's the ultimate family winter holiday outing, packed with excitement and adventure. Book now at showtime.co.za. Disney on Ice, brought to you by Showtime Management in association with FNB and 947.
Hey, Chuck, you know most football games have half-time, full-time, and extra time.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? The fish and chip company has Laduma time.
Oh, what's that?
That's the time straight after the game when you are really hungry and you go to the fish and chip company for their Laduma #1 meal. A small Russian, chips, and a 300ml buddy for only 39 Rand 90. Plus, you stand a chance to win one of 5 50-inch Samsung Smart TVs.
Laduma, let's go. The fish and chip company.
Fresh, hot, and a lot.
Welcome to the Mars Singer South Africa! The Mars Singer South Africa is back, and Mzansi, the mystery, has found a new home. Where are we, Joe? On SABC2. Join me, Mpo Pops, and our celebrity detectives as we all try guess who is behind the mask.
There's something about the energy,
Because keeping a secret, Mzansi. Hey, man, nice try. The new season of the Mars Singer South Africa premieres Saturday, 4th of July at 7 p.m. on SABC2. Proudly sponsored by Andalex.
Lotto Star is turning not only heads, but tables too. With our Monopoly Roulette live game, you can bet on red or black, odds or evens, and watch the wheel decide your fate in real time. Every spin could shift your luck in seconds, with payouts of up to 25 million Rand on our live casino games. Lotto Star, your world of live games. Monopoly is a trademark of Hasbro. Must be 18 years or over. Lotto Star is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18. NRGP 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Today, standing out in the job market is more important than ever. Postnet and Huru are here to help you succeed. Did you know that many organizations require a criminal record check before hiring? From educators to retailers, drivers to lawyers and more, Postnet has you covered. From just 335 Rand, add a Huru criminal record check to your CV and stand out from the crowd. Visit your nearest Postnet today. Postnet, helping you succeed.
Mavis, I wonder if I should sell my car. I'm not sure where to go.
Wanna sell your car, but don't know what to do. You don't have to go far, we come to you. If you're rolling on a 1.5 or a Lacquer 2.2, doesn't matter what you drive, we buy cars once you.
We Buy Cars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
You're locked into Marawa Sports Worldwide.
It is going to be penalties in Boston. 3-3. Jonathan Tah for Germany. And he's blazed it over the top. It's a dreadful penalty from Tah. Surely this time for Paraguay. He does score!
Result Sports, Mario Leo. You excited? You disappointed?
Probably now in anticipation of Germany, who obviously, similar to South Africa, is having a roller coaster experience. Starting very well with a slashing of Curaçao, just about lucky against Cote d'Ivoire.
Oh, it's a little short, and Caesar capitalises, and Neuer saves Germany from further embarrassment.
I think Germany is one of those few countries where you don't see a huge amount of watch parties in the capital cities.
Champions of the world! Robert Marawa. This is the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Good evening, Rob, and also to our shareholders. All the big guns, all the big boys are out of the tournament.
Germany, Netherlands, and South Africa, because now we are part of those big boys now. I think the surprise package for this tournament, it will be Cape Verde. Cape Verde will be in the last 8. Mark my words, they will be in the last 8. Bye-bye, Robert Dino. Bye-bye, Modise from Tlagi.
Robert, congratulations to Morocco for going through to the next stage, which is the last 16. I'm hopeful that the DRC will hold England and then thereafter win through penalties and have an addition of African country in the last 16. Thank you, Africa. Thank you, African teams. Let's unite. Africa unite. Thank you. Butingkong Kiponafite, son of Indo in the Eastern Cape.
Skilo. Steven Pienaar. No. Steven played, huh? Steven played for Ajax Amsterdam. Steven played for Everton. Oh gosh, what a player! He plays the chimp. What a player! Skilo.
Oh yeah, what a player, man. Steven Pienaar. Well, stick around. I think we'll have a little bit of time later on. I want to play you what Didi Hamann said about Nagelsmann. Yeah, very refreshing, but very honest look back. But right now, though, as I said, we got to be here, there, and everywhere. We got limited time, but hey, let's push, because rugby, as you know, is a sport that's kind of built on what we call collisions. There's also a bit of character, moments that define a whole lot of eras. And when the green and gold steps onto the field, every selection does tell a story. Now, it's a story of trust, experience, combinations, and also the relentless pursuit of excellence. And that's why tonight we turn our attention to the Springboks as the countdown does begin to another massive test match. It's the first official chapter, though, of the 2026 campaign. It's about to be written. The stage is set at Ellis Park as South Africa prepares to face, England. And that's why Rassie Rasmus has gone with experience, bringing back a host of the World Cup winners, as he named a very powerful box squad featuring, the likes of Siya Kolisi, the captain, Eben Etzebeth. There's Peter Steph de Toy in the mix there, Cheslin Colby, Jesse Creel, Malcolm Marks, Damien Willemse. There's also Manny Lebok. Well, it's a team built for pressure, I guess. A team built for a big battle. But what does this selection overall mean? What does it reveal about Rassie Rasmus's plans? What are the combinations telling us, and how important is it for the Boks to start the Nations Championship era with a statement performance? And that's why joining us is a man who understands the demands of the jersey. Why? Because he wore the jersey himself and is a former SA Under-23 captain and Springbok loose forward and rugby analyst and the room divider. Hey, I can go on and on. Thando Manana, welcome to the show.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa, and to your listeners. It's been a while. Good to be back.
I'm a golfer.
I'm always going to be one, sir.
Let's talk rugby.
I'm always going to be one. Yeah, let's go for it.
Let's move you away from the golf course. You've been doing some amazing stuff there on the golf course. I looked at this and I was like, Rassie has brought back, a number of World Cup winners. Does this kind of selection show that the Boks are going all out to make a statement in the First Nation Championship test?
Look, Rob, I think what is important is that it's a new competition. It's no longer the inbound as it was known. I think now it's more of a competition amongst North versus South is what people were calling for. Now it's sort of starting in earnest. The New Zealanders are playing the French down under. And I think we have an opportunity now as South Africa to start off very well. And how best to do it than to go with your very strong team, just to put the foot on the pedal from the word go. I think South Africa's backline, if one looks at it, is the most experienced to have ever started in a test match. That also just shows you the amount of trust in terms of our attacking, our brute force and brutality that we want to sort of execute versus the English. We know that physically they're not really where we are, and we want to just put a stamp up front with Ox, Malcolm Marks and Thomas du Toit, who knows the players very well as he plays in the English Premiership. So I think it's an overall an exciting but very powerful team, Rob. I have to say there's not really any inexperienced player that's in the team, except for the Zach Poten, with just a mere 3 tests under his belt, and Cameron Honeycomb, who's come back from injury, having only had 1 cap. So those are the only 2 players that have got inexperience in terms of when it comes to playing these big games. But I think overall, the starting 15, can put up a good, game against the English, and really put up a good score going to half time. But also remember, we've got a good coach in Bortwick. He's also going to be having, some really time to think which team can really sort of man up to the box. And I see a lot of players, the Coles, George Martin, Joe Hayes, as well as the captain now, Jamie George, really having to front up against a tough, strong forward pack. They'll merely depend on George Fairbank, Faye Wabosa, as well as Tommy Freeman, to really give them some good ball out wide. But they just have to first put some hard tackles on the Springboks to show that they've arrived. And also I think for the Springboks to play their game, which we know is now mixed with a bit of power, pace in our back 3 with Colby, Kurtley Arons, as well as Damian Willems. So it's going to be an exciting game, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Damian Willems. He's selected at fullback. But from what I saw, there's no recognized backup fly half. I mean, what does that tell you about Rusty's thinking and also the confidence in Willems's versatility?
Look, I think what's important, Rob, is Damian can play fly-half. He's played some number of tests at fly-half. I think he's also played fly-half against England in Twickenham some 3 years ago. And that also just goes to show you that, this new thing of hybrid is not something that they use, every now and again. They know which players can play at certain position. I think even if you were to take scrum half, if you didn't have a Cobus Reinach, a player like Cheslin Colby can play at scrum half. I mean, you've seen that against the Barbers when you had that yellow card, but also on Grant Williams. So I think for us, we need not worry that we don't have a Moyo or a Pollard on the bench. I think he's got Cobus, he's got Andre Esterhazen, and also Kenan Moody. But also, if something were to happen to Manny Libok, and then Willemse will sort of come in, you've got Kolb who can play at fullback and also can play at fly-half, by the way. That's where we played in his team in France, at fly-half. So I think for us, it's a good team. I think they're more worried about the starting 15, Rob, than actually having a fly-half on the bench, but really having these hybrid players on the bench. If one were to look at Cannon can play center, can play wing. So Andre Esterhazen can play flank and can play center. So I think it's more really, to play the type of game plan that they have against the English, taking into account, that loss against Australia at the same field that they'll be playing this English side.
Now, when you look at the bench, though, which has always been an exciting conversation piece, the traditional 5-3 split instead of the famous bomb squad approach, I mean, how significant is that tactical shift?
Yeah, I mean, when I look at the bench, Rob, you mentioned the fly-half earlier on. I think there's no replacement lock, which also tells me that if something were to happen to the 2 locks, Eben or sort of Ruan Nortje, then you've got to find someone like Peter Steph du Toit going back to lock. That was his normal position when he started his test career. And then you've got Cameron Honeycomb, Marco van Staden, who's been used at the Bulls as both the hooker and also as a loose forward at times. So it's quite interesting in terms of what you talk about the bench. So I think the bench is more power. You talk of the bomb squad. I think this is more power squad that you have in this team that can play in any position. I think Cameron Honeycomb can play flank 8. He can play 6 as well. Marco can play hook, can play flank. So it will just depend on how the changes have sort of been planned by the team. I see Ruan Nortje, who I always say has got a V8 engine. He'll play the full 8, shoot for 60, 65, and then he moves over to lock. And then Rassi will bring in these 2 loose forward of Marco as well as Cameron Honeycomb to come on and just finish off the English. You've got so much that happen on the other side. If one were to look at what they could have, you've got a Henry Pollock as well that they need to sort of make sure that they mute in Ellis Park. I mean, he's quite a very dangerous player. He's shown as well just recently with his club as well. that he's on form and he's really playing some good rugby. But this is test rugby, as you know. But I think England will be banking too much on him to make sure that he sort of attacks. So I think what is important, English are going to move the big artillery of the Springbok team. So those bench just also tells you that South Africa is quite wary of the last 20, 25 minutes based on their learnings from previous games at Ellis Park. Although it's high altitude, but they were mostly affected when we played Australia.
Right. Just finally, I mean, we saw England pushing South Africa all the way in the 2023 World Cup semi-final. But now when you fast forward, Manana, to now 2026, what makes this England side dangerous, or even more dangerous, or maybe less so?
Look, I think it's their system. I think they underestimated us in that semi-final. And I mean, Rob, remember, it's a Rugby World Cup. It's a knockout stage. They went into the half leading. You know, they were smiling. There were some chirps going on. And, Farrell just being the big instigator in terms of that time. And South Africa came really well and won the scrum penalty, and Pollard kicked it over and were into the final. So it was a game of small margins. I think now again, they are going to want to sort of, come out and scream off an expensive type of game. They've got a very quick back three, which, as I mentioned earlier, George Fairbank, Faye Waboso, as well as Caden Murley. And those are great wingers and the fullback that they have there. But most importantly, their X-factor player is Tommy Freeman. I think for me, he's played really well also in his club in England. And also he did some great things in the Six Nations. But I think for me, that's going to be something that we're going to see now going forward. They like to keep the ball floating. They've got really exciting runners with ball in hand. So there's quite a lot that they've got to sort of go through turbulence of their own. Remember, the Janse van Rensburg is still ineligible to play for England. I think he'll be eligible just next week. He just misses it by a week. They would have wanted to use him as the go-to runner against the box and try and open up that mid-channel. Unfortunately, he's not available for selection. But I think also if you look at Finn Smith and Alex Mitchell, I think that pairing, half-back pairing, will want to cause some big trouble for the South African backline in the 9 and 10 channel. But for me, the 9-10, as I've said, and also the back three are going to be potent for England, especially if a player of Tommy Freeman comes into his own. But in terms of the front forward and what they have, the English, Rob, I think we need to exploit them very much so early in the game. They don't really have top. I mean, Ellis Genge, Jamie George, and Joey Hayes, players that have been there, but I mean, Jamie is near retirement. Ellis Genge is a good scrummager at loose head, but I think Thomas du Toit would know the better of him as they've played so many games against each other, and it's going to be interesting. Remember, they're out Itoje, who's taken and also been rested in terms of this game, and that for me is quite an important big miss for England. I would have loved for him to rest after this test match, but, decisions are always made for player welfare and also what is good for the team and what is good for the player going forward. So I think in mind, South Africa are huge favorites, but Rob, we've said that last year against the Australian team and we went home with our tails between our legs, and therefore I think Rassie is going to want to just make sure that they really kill it up front and then we sort of demolish them towards the end. But Pollock and company are also yet to play. I think in terms of their training, they're ready for the high altitude. In terms of the game plan, is to play it out wide and move the heavy artillery.
All right. Hopefully the heavy artillery will come in the form of the room dividers one of these days and come back onto the radio. Tanda Banana, former South African's under-23 junior bucket, also Springbok flank. Thank you so much for your insight, sir.
You're mostly welcome, and good night.
We don't sleep, sir. We watch football.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
This July, one voice, one stage, one unforgettable weekend. For the first time in South Africa, don't miss Jubin Nautiyal live at Sun City on the 11th of July. Book your tickets plus accommodation and park and ride packages today on bluebloodtickets.com. Brought to you by Blue Blood and Sun City.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy, a pulse, and a feeling connecting everybody. The heart of Mzansi.
It's Joburg.
In celebration of this, 702 has partnered with Jozi My Jozi, and we're calling on you to walk through the city center with us.
Walk the talk.
In the 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk. Babize bonke. On Sunday, 26 July, we're going to the iconic Joburg CBD, the home of dream creators and operators, where we dominate and history make. So join us and be a part of something special.
I'm ready to rock this book.
Because when Joburg walks together, extraordinary things happen. Enter now on primediaplus.com and get ready for 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk this July, hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Walk with the people, for the people, for our Jozi. Babize bonke. Enter Walk the Talk now on primediaplus.com.
Spar is giving you the chance to win your share of over 400,000 Rand in Superfan prizes when you spend 650 Rand or more and buy any 3 participating products like 1 liter Spar Long Life Full Cream, low fat or fat-free milk, excluding lactose-free, 6-pack for only 94.99 or 700ml all gold tomato sauce, just 34.99 each. Price is valid from 22 June till 7 July while stocks last, only at Spar. T's and C's apply.
Ready to go?
No, can't.
Your mother raised you. She can look after him for 1 day.
But he's just a baby.
He's 7.
Just a baby.
I've packed his favorite toy and blanket.
Okay, just grab his Hills food.
Always.
We know that you only want the best for your small dog, which is why Hills has developed expert, science-backed nutrition to meet the unique needs of small dogs and help them live their best lives across their longer lifespans. Hills Pet Nutrition. Science does more.
You trusted your contraceptive to work exactly as expected. Certain defective Yaz Plus blister packs contained 24 placebos instead of active pills. If you fell pregnant while taking Yaz Plus between November 2023 and December 2024, you may have a claim for medical and financial expenses, regardless of the pregnancy outcome. LHL Attorneys is investigating a class action on behalf of women affected. Find out if you qualify at yazplusclaim.co.za.
You're locked into Marawa Sports Worldwide.
The best thing to come out of this South Africa World Cup campaign is this guy right here. Mbukazi, what a centre back.
So for head of communications, live from LA, Mnina Wentlogo. As much as everybody is disappointed, we got to maybe end on a positive note, and that is Umbegezeli Mbukazi. There's not a single soul around the world that's not praising him.
Mbukazi, look at that boy. Shut down Olukman.
No, he's something else, isn't he? To me, it seems every single game that I watch him in, he becomes better. It is impossible to quantify what he could possibly become in the next couple of years, or even less than that, if I'm assessing him correctly.
To the middle, no goalkeeper, off the line, Mbukazi!
Come on, tell us, where's he going to next?
Who knows what will happen after this World Cup.
Champions of the world!
Robert Marawa. This is the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Good evening, Marawa. Good evening also to the shareholders of MSW, Tembelai Tembisa. Marawa, I think I have a solution for Bafana Bafana that will help us for the next generation. We need to appoint somebody who is a good technical director who will also be involved from the youth setup of under 17 all the way to the national setup. If Coach Pito gets appointed as the coach, which is my wish, of Bafana Bafana, then you'll have Mangoba Ngiti as his assistant, but also coach the under-23s. Then also have someone like Upeni Makati, who will also be part of the setup, because if you look at the World Cup, we've only scored 1 goal out of play, To date, Robert, we don't have an under-23 team, Sizo, Papama, when we have to now focus on qualifying for the Olympics. So SAFA's technical
medical director sleeping on the job. I don't know who he is currently. And they should take that under-20 team that did well in the AFCON, prepare them now and push them to be the under-23. You add your Rilem Fukeng and Bogazi to put that experience for the under-23 to qualify for the Olympics coming in 2028. Take the under-17 boys who went to the World Cup. They'll then form part of the under-23 team that will go for 2030, so that 2032 Olympics, so that we have that long vision. Thanks, Robert.
Hashtag MSW. No protection. No PR spin.
And they put the mood in, they put the mood.
Just accountability.
You. Ay. They can't even talk anymore.
Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live.
All right, with Bafana Bafana being knocked out of the World Cup, we're just taking a little bit of a detour, an off-ramp to catch up on the other sporting codes, because big things are happening, and thanks to Tanda Banana for bringing us up to date, and good luck to the Springboks on their game against England. In the very same breath, what about Team South Africa? I think the next major test is already on the horizon. We talk about the Commonwealth Games. Well, they return to Glasgow from the 23rd of July to the 2nd of August. So SASCOG has confirmed, though, that a very strong South African contingent will carry the hopes of the nation, with athletics, swimming, para-athletics as well, para-swimming expected to lead the charge. Now, a squad of around 109 athletes is being assembled, smaller than the previous games, but with a clear focus, I do believe, on quality performance and building towards the ultimate destination. So Los Angeles 2028. So SASCOG, the high performance manager, Leon Fleischer, has been at the center of South Africa's high performance strategy. And that's why today we look ahead to the preparation, the expectation, the pressure, and the pathway towards Olympic glory. He joins us right here on the show. Thank you so much for your time, Leon. Welcome.
Robert, thank you very much, and thank you for allowing us back on your show. I think the last time I spoke to you was leading up to Paris.
I know, it's always going to be about these big occasions in these exotic parts of the world, eh?
Exactly.
I mean, Glasgow's being described as a key benchmark, though, on the road to LA 2028. How important are these Commonwealth Games, though, in measuring where South Africa's high-performance program currently stands?
It's extremely important, Robert. When you look back at our performances in other Commonwealth Games, 2 years before an Olympics and a Paralympics, it's always been a great benchmark to see where we are. 74 countries there, so there's some very important countries. So in swimming, you got Australia, Canada, England, etc., and in athletics, you got Jamaica and some of the other Caribbean. So it's a good benchmark, a good place to blood some of the youngsters that haven't been to multi-coded games before. So very excited on what we're going to do there. A much smaller games than normal, only 10 sport, where it's normally 24 sport. And that's why our team is much smaller. But we got a very good team in terms of youth and experience going there. And this will be a nice benchmark, especially in athletics, swimming, para-athletics, para-swimming on where we are leading up to LA 28.
What gives you so much confidence there, Leon? I know that athletics and swimming have always been our edge, where we get the medals, where we get the podiums.
Well, don't ever write off lawn bowls in these games. Although this time the lawn bowls is on carpet, which is very different for our guys. But they have been training, and hopefully they'll still return some balls. But yeah, if we have a look at our athletics team and even now in swimming, we've been investing in the relays, and you can see the results from that. We've started investing in the swimming relays as well. So swimming is participating in 7 out of the 8 relays. We got the 4x100 going. We got the mixed 4x4. There's unfortunately no other relays in athletics there because there's a smaller field. So we're very excited, and we think that we got a really good team going, and it'll be very interesting to see how we do in some of the smaller sport as well. We got some new exciting talent coming up in judo. Our gymnastics artistic team has been led by Caitlin. So very happy all around. But we think this is going to be an awesome game. So last time we went to Glasgow, we did extremely well in 2014. Unfortunately, Rugby 7's not there now. It was the first time they beat New Zealand in a Commonwealth Games. But very happy that we got a very big contingent and strong contingent of 25 athletes in athletics and 21 athletes in swimming, 4 para-swimmers and 7 para-athletics athletes that are going to go there and test themselves towards LA 2028.
You mentioned, I thought I heard you wrong, you're talking about lawn bowls now being played on carpet. Explain that though, because I've covered those lawn bowls very happily, and it was such an exciting thing to cover, especially in Manchester. And great talent, obviously, lawn bowls, the way that we know lawn bowls to be outdoor, the usual thing. So what's different now? I mean, take us through that.
So it's played indoor now on carpet in Glasgow. So you don't get the roll of the green. It's a bit slower. Our guys have all played on grass their entire lives, competed and won world championships in it. So it is a little bit different, but our bowling federation has set up a training facility for them, and they have been training really hard. But yeah, it's a very different game. It's a very different game, but I'm still hopeful that we're going to return medals in both lawn bowls and para-lawn bowls.
Talking about para-sport, I mean, South Africa's got a very, very proud para-sport history, Leon. I mean, especially in bringing home medals. I mean, how important is that para-athletics as well as para-swimming remain central to Team SA's plans?
Oh, absolutely. Unfortunately, very limited events, but it is an inclusive games. We're very happy for that. So unfortunately, like Mpumi and Fongo, his event is not there. One of our top para-athletes, as well as Simone Kruger, our world champion. But we got a very exciting young visually impaired runner coming through, 19 years old, sort of taking on the old guards of Jaco Smith and Jonathan Intutu. And this kid just ran a sub-11 as a visually impaired runner a few weeks ago at the Carney Simbini Classic. So very excited for this kid and think he's going to go places. So it'll be nice to see him. It's going to be his first multi-coded games, which is always important. It's a very different going to a multi-coded games as opposed to an athletics or a para-athletics champ. You've got other sport, other people. Team South Africa is much bigger. But as you know, we take a full sporting contingent there. We've got sports psychologists, sports psychiatrists, full medical team and admin team to help everybody. So we think it's going to be an awesome, awesome games. And we're very thankful to our partners, Bidvest, Mr. Price Sport with Max Elite, Planet Fitness, obviously the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, and the National Lotteries Commission, because without them, we would all be sitting at home watching the games.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, you talk about the financials, though, Leon. I mean, I look at SASCOC introducing what they call the financial support for athletes now, including the preparation funding, medal incentives, and so on. I mean, how much of a difference does that make for athletes who often carry a huge financial burden at the end of the day?
Absolutely, and there's a direct correlation between investing in athletes and performance. So we try to do as much as we can. It's always never enough, Robert, as you know. We'll never have enough money, but we do what we can, and it's a big thank you to those partners I just mentioned, because without them we wouldn't be able to do what we want to do. We wouldn't have the medal incentives. We wouldn't have the Bidvest Operation Excellence Program assisting these athletes in preparing, getting there, but we always need more, and we always call on corporate South Africa, please invest in our athletes. We have an amazing abundance of talent in this country, and if we can invest in them, the returns will come.
Sure. I love that. And for the very first time, and I was also excited about this when I saw it during the day that, team as well as relay events will also receive these incentives. I mean, why was it so important to recognize those athletes collectively?
Absolutely. So we've done it since London 2012 for the bigger games, so the Olympics, Paralympics, and Commonwealth Games. We would love to introduce incentives for the smaller games as well. But it's very important because you want to pay off the hard work. And also within those incentives, we also pay because not all the coaches get to go to the games because of the dynamics of the sport. But it's very important to recognize the importance of the coach and the athlete's journey.
And I was listening to Barry Hendricks. I mean, he said that there will be no medal targets placed on Team South Africa. I mean, do you agree with that approach? And how do you balance what I call ambition with removing that pressure?
Yeah, I think if you put the medals out there, it does put a bit of pressure on. But I think if you go, we're looking at performance. There's on-field and off-field performance. There's PBs. There's things there's targets being set with the ultimate goal at Olympic and a Paralympic game, not just LA, as well as Brisbane 2032. There's some very young athletes in this team. But we would like to go there and be top 6 on the medal table, is my ambition. Sorry, don't quote me as saying it for anybody else. My ambition as general manager high performance, top 6, top 7 on the medal table against very quality teams. And remember that numbers are capped for Commonwealth Games. We have 112 athletes in our final. That's been signed off, where your Englands and your Australias are going to have much bigger teams than us because of where they are in the Commonwealth. So, bit of a skewed thing, but we still, South Africans, Robert, we punch above our weight wherever we go, and we'll go there and punch above our weight once again.
Yeah, that's right, Ellis Park. We need to punch above our way to that England team and show them show them who's boss. And just finally, here's a lady that I admire so much because of what she's brought into sport, Bongiwe Msomi. And she's been named the chef de mission. What qualities did she bring that made her the right person for such an important duty?
Just look at her CV. She is an amazing human being. She's a leader like anything else, just a natural choice. And the beautiful story of this, the last Commonwealth Games in Birmingham 2022, she was our flag bearer. And now in Glasgow 2026, she's going to be leading the team. She's going to be the biggest cheerleader. She's going to be out there with all the athletes shouting for them. Imagine all these young athletes going with her and they can speak to her and just feed off that energy she has. She led our netball team with distinction, and we couldn't be happier than having her as the chef de mission for this team.
All right, exciting times indeed. I did tell the listeners early on that it's 20 days to go until the Commonwealth Games. Leon Fleisch.
Don't say that, you're making me nervous, Robert.
Only Benny McCarthy can say that line, Leon. Thank you so much, man. Everything of the best. That's Saskog High Performance Manager Leon Fleischer joining us right here on #MSW. Good luck to you and the team.
Thanks, Robert. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, man. This has been #MSW Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Let the game begin. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. #MSW. Live now on 947, Vuma FM, Rise.